Hey everyone, my name's Kelvin, and here's a quick, just a couple minute tutorial video for my Watercolor for Procreate add-on. I'm just going to show you how to make some tiny little flowers. So first I'm going to go to the brushes and make sure I have the watercolor brushes opened up here. And I'm going to use the abstract round brush. And then I'll go and choose kind of a flowery color. Something like this, but not too light. If it's too light, it's hard to see on the video. I think that's good. Okay. And I'm going to zoom in. And I've got the abstract round brush selected. I'll make sure the opacity is set to 100%. And then I'll make sure the size is kind of appropriate for the project here, something like that. Let's see. Okay, that's pretty good. And I'm just going to start soft, very soft, and I'll press harder and then let it off. And I'm going to do the same over here. Same thing. And I'm just trying to fit in like 5 petals. And I'll do the same over here. And just like in real watercolor, you can just use the shape of the brush to make the flower. There we go. And now I'm going to choose the water blender brush. And I'll make that small enough so it can fit inside of the petals here. And I'll just sort of blend the centers. But I'm pulling it out from the center as if when you painted watercolor, you took off your brush stroke in the middle and just dotted it, and then the ink was kind of spreading out, or the watercolor was kind of spreading out. So I'm going to kind of pull it from the center. I don't want it to be too dark, though. So if you want it to be lighter, you can just pull it back and then try again. There we go. And I'm just looking for any areas that don't look right, and I'll blend those in. But it's okay to leave some hard edges, because real watercolor does have that sometimes. Okay, and now I'm going to make the blending brush even smaller, and I'm going to do some fine, sort of fine water. Like when the color spreads, it'll sometimes make these thin little veins. So I'm trying to replicate that by just like scribbling around in here. So let's zoom in and you can see what I mean. Watercolor in real life does this because there's like channels that form in the paper when you drip on the color, and it will spread out in little rivers. Okay, that's pretty good. Let's do it to this one. Just sort of scrubbing and swirling. But this will only work properly if the size is very small, but not like a tiny, not like a pinhead, but maybe like that. Okay, I'm happy with those. I'm going to add some natural variation. So I'll go to my selection tool and set to freehand. And I'll just make a selection that randomly touches different parts of the flowers. And then I'll go to feather, and I'll feather it out like that. And I'll go to hue, saturation, and brightness. And then I'm going to shift the hue a little bit and choose, yeah, it's kind of the sepia color. It's really cool. Let's mess with the saturation. Okay, that's pretty good. I feel like the center of this one is too dark, so I'll grab the selection tool and sort of circle that, feather it out, and try to lighten it. There we go, that looks good. Next, I'm going to try to add some sort of splatters in the center to act like the center of the flower. So I'll choose a little bit darker of a color, something like that. I'll go to my brushes and I'm going to choose the fine liner pen. And let's zoom in here and just see how big that is. Looks like that size is pretty good. And I'm just doing hard taps and light taps, kind of in a circular pattern. Same thing over here. Like a hard tap to make a big one, and then a light tap to make a small one. I'm kind of swiping it a little bit as well. Let's add some really big ones too. There we go. And this is all in the same layer. I mean, I'm not too concerned about the details and tiny adjustments. These are just quick little flowers. Okay, and those look pretty good. So you can export these just like this with the paper texture background, but you can also turn that off if you want. Just go to the watercolor texture group, open that up, and turn off the paper background option, and then turn on the option below called no background option. And now the background is like pure white. There's no paper texture at all, but it still has the subtle paper texture inside the flowers only. And then you can save this by going to the wrench. You can do JPEG, and then you can save it to images like that. So hopefully this is just a quick, fun little tutorial showing you some of the techniques that I use to paint with this add-on. You can find a link to this add-on in the description of this video. If you have any questions or comments, you can send me an email or leave a comment on this video. But other than that, guys, thank you so much for your support, and thanks for watching.